I, 32 Mamon, never thought I'd be writing this, but here I am. I've been with my fiancé Molly, 29F, for 5 years now. We met through mutual friends at a local bar called the Rusty Nail. I remember it like it was yesterday. I was there celebrating a promotion at work, and Molly walked in with a group of her college friends. She was wearing a red dress that caught my eye immediately. We got talking over some craft beers and realized we had a lot in common. A love for indie music, hiking, and terrible puns. Molly was funny, smart, and beautiful. Everything I ever wanted in a partner. Our relationship progressed quickly after that. We moved in together after a year of dating, adopting a rescue dog named Buddy. Last summer, I proposed during a sunset hike in the mountains. It was perfect, or so I thought. We were planning a fall wedding for next year. For context, Molly comes from a wealthy family. Her parents, Robert and Diane, own a successful chain of luxury boutique hotels across the country. They started with one small inn 30 years ago and built it into an empire. Molly grew up with all the privileges that came with that lifestyle. Private schools, fancy vacations, designer clothes. But to her credit, she was always down to earth and never flaunted her family's wealth. Molly works in the family business as a marketing director. She's incredibly talented and has helped expand their brand significantly in recent years. I come from a more modest background. My dad was a high school history teacher and my mom a pediatric nurse. They worked hard to put me and my sister through college, but we never had much extra. I work as an accountant at a mid-sized firm. The income difference between Molly and me never seemed to be an issue, though I'll admit I sometimes felt a bit inadequate around her family. Molly has an older sister, Emma, 35F, who's married to Jack, 37M. They've been together for over 10 years and have 2 kids, Lily, 7, and Max, 5. Emma also works for the family business in operations, while Jack runs his own tech startup. It's some kind of app for scheduling home services. I never really understood the details. Jack comes from old money and went to school with Molly and Emma. I always got along well with Emma and Jack, though I was never super close to Jack. He could be a bit arrogant at times, but I chalked it up to his upbringing. About a month ago, I started noticing some changes in Molly's behavior. She became more secretive with her phone, often taking calls in another room or on the balcony. She was working late more often, sometimes not coming home until after midnight. A few times, she came home smelling faintly of cologne that wasn't mine. At first, I brushed it off as stress from work. Molly had mentioned they were pitching to a big new client, so I figured she was just busy. But then other little things started adding up. She was less affectionate, often brushing off my attempts at intimacy. Our weekly date nights became less frequent. One day I saw some flirty texts pop up on her phone from a contact saved as J. The message preview said something about missing their lunch meeting. My suspicions grew, but I tried to push them down. I trusted Molly completely. Or so I thought. Last week, I finally decided to do some digging. I feel awful about it, but I checked Molly's phone while she was in the shower. What I found made me sick to my stomach. There were hundreds of explicit texts and photos exchanged between Molly and Jack going back months. They had pet names for each other and inside jokes I didn't understand. There were messages planning secret meetups at hotels and discussing how to keep their affair hidden. They had been having an affair right under all our noses, betraying not just me, but Emma and their kids too. I was devastated and didn't know what to do. I couldn't believe Molly would betray me like this, let alone with her own sister's husband. I spent the next few days in a daze, barely able to focus at work. I kept replaying memories in my head, wondering how long this had been going on. Had our entire relationship been a lie? I thought about confronting Molly immediately, but I was scared of how she would react. Would she deny it? Try to blame me somehow? I also wrestled with whether I should tell Emma. She deserved to know, but I dreaded being the one to blow up her family. Yesterday, I finally worked up the courage to confront Molly. I sat her down after dinner and told her I knew about the affair with Jack. I expected her to break down and confess, but her reaction shocked me. She became furious and accused me of making wild accusations. When I mentioned the texts I saw, she claimed I must have hacked her phone out of paranoia. Things escalated quickly from there. Molly called Jack and put him on speakerphone. To my horror, they both turned the tables on me. Jack accused me of stealing his wife Emma's diamond ring, an expensive family heirloom worth over $50,000. He claimed I must have taken it when we were over at their house for dinner last month. I was floored. Not only were they denying the affair, but now they were accusing me of theft. I vehemently denied stealing anything. Molly said she didn't want to believe I was capable of that, but Jack was insistent. They said if I didn't return the ring immediately, they would go to the police. I left the apartment in a panic, my mind racing. How did confronting my cheating fiancé turn into me being accused of grand larceny? I realized they must have planned this, in case they ever got caught. It was their word against mine. I spent the night at my best friend Mike's place, trying to figure out what to do. Mike was shocked when I told him everything. He never liked Jack much, and said he always got a weird vibe from him. Mike suggested I talk to Emma directly, but I'm terrified of making things worse. This morning, Molly texted saying we needed to talk. She wants me to come home so we can work this out. But I'm terrified of walking into a trap. What if they try to plant evidence on me? I wouldn't put it past Jack to do something like that. I don't know where to turn. Should I go to the police first and report the false accusation? Talk to Emma and risk blowing up her family? Hire a lawyer? I'm scared and heartbroken and don't know what to do. I thought Molly was the love of my life, and now everything is falling apart. Any advice would be greatly appreciated. TLDR, caught fiancé cheating with her brother-in-law. When confronted, they accused me of stealing an expensive ring to deflect. Now I don't know how to prove my innocence or what to do next. Update. 1. First, I want to thank everyone for the overwhelming support and advice on my original post. It's been a wild and emotional few days, but I finally have some updates to share. After my last post, I decided to take the advice of many commenters and speak to Emma directly. I was nervous about how she would react, but I knew she deserved to know the truth. I called Emma and asked to meet her in person, alone. She agreed, and we met at a small cafe across town the next day. When I arrived, Emma was already there nursing a latte. She looked tired and stressed, with dark circles under her eyes. I realized this whole situation must have been affecting her too, even if she didn't know the full extent of it yet. I started by apologizing for the awkward situation and assured her I hadn't stolen her ring. Then, I took a deep breath and told her everything: the affair, the confrontation, and the false accusation. I showed her screenshots I had taken of some of the texts between Molly and Jack. Emma was silent for a long time after I finished talking. Then, to my surprise, she started crying. Through her tears, she confessed that she had suspected something was going on between Jack and Molly for a while. She had noticed Jack being secretive with his phone and working late more often. She had even found a receipt for expensive jewelry that wasn't for her. But she had been in denial, not wanting to believe her sister and husband would betray her like that. As Emma collected herself, she shared some background that shed new light on the situation. Apparently, Jack and Molly had dated briefly in college before Emma and Jack got together. Emma had always felt a bit insecure about their history, but Molly and Jack both assured her it was ancient history. Now Emma wondered if there had always been lingering feelings between them. Emma then revealed something that changed everything. The diamond ring Jack accused me of stealing? It wasn't actually missing at all. Emma had it in her possession the whole time. She showed it to me right there in the coffee shop. Apparently, about a month ago, Emma had taken the ring to a jeweler to have it resized and cleaned. The ring had been a bit loose on her finger lately, and she wanted to surprise Jack by having it fixed for their upcoming anniversary. She hadn't told Jack because she wanted it to be a surprise. The ring had been in her safe at work this whole time. I was relieved to have proof of my innocence, but also angry that Jack and Molly had tried to set me up. Emma was furious too. We spent the next few hours talking and comparing notes. It became clear that the affair had been going on for at least 6 months, possibly longer. Emma shared more details about her relationship with Jack. They had been having problems for a while, arguing more frequently and growing distant. Jack had been spending more time at the office, claiming his startup was at a critical stage. Emma had tried to be supportive, but she felt like she was losing him. Now she realized he had been with Molly all along. We also talked about Molly's behavior over the past few months. Emma had noticed her sister seemed happier and more energetic lately. Molly had started dressing up more for work and going out for frequent girls' nights. Emma had been happy to see her sister thriving, never suspecting the real reason behind the changes. As we talked, Emma's sadness turned to anger. She decided she wanted to confront Jack and Molly together. She asked if I would be there for support, and I agreed. We went to Emma and Jack's house, where we found them both there with Molly. The look on their faces when they saw us together was priceless. Emma didn't waste any time. She laid into both of them, revealing that she knew everything about the affair. She then pulled out the diamond ring, proving that their accusation against me was a complete lie. Jack and Molly were stunned into silence. What followed was an ugly, emotional confrontation. There was a lot of yelling, crying, and accusations thrown around. Jack tried to deny everything at first, but Molly eventually broke down and admitted to the affair. She begged me for forgiveness, saying it was a mistake and didn't mean anything. I just stood there, numb. Molly tried to blame the affair on feeling neglected in our relationship. She said I had been distant lately, too focused on work. Jack claimed he and Emma had grown apart, and he had turned to Molly for comfort. Their excuses rang hollow to both Emma and me. In the end, Emma kicked both Jack and Molly out of the house. She told Jack she wanted a divorce, and Molly that she never wanted to see her again. I told Molly to pack her things and be out of our apartment by the time I got home. I'm still processing everything that's happened. I feel relieved that the truth is out and my name is cleared, but also deeply hurt and betrayed. Emma and I have been leaning on each other for support through this mess. It's going to be a long road to healing for both of us. I'm not sure what the future holds, but I know I'll never take Molly back. I'm meeting with a lawyer next week to discuss my options for breaking our lease and separating our finances. I'll update again once I have more news to share. Thank you all again for your support during this crazy time. It means more than you know. Update 2. It's been about a month since my last update, and a lot has happened. I want to thank everyone again for the continued support and kind messages. They've really helped me get through this difficult time. After the confrontation, Molly tried repeatedly to contact me. She left voicemails crying and begging for another chance. She claimed the affair was a huge mistake and that she still loved me. I blocked her number and on all social media. I'm sticking to my decision to end things for good. I met with a lawyer as planned. Fortunately, Molly and I weren't married yet, so the separation process is relatively straightforward. We didn't have any joint accounts or major shared assets besides our apartment lease. My lawyer helped me draft a letter formally ending our engagement and outlining the terms for Molly to move out and return any of my belongings. The process of untangling our lives has been emotionally draining. We had built so much together over the past 5 years. Separating. Our belongings brought back memories of happier times, vacations we'd taken, gifts we'd exchanged, the life we'd planned together. But each item also felt tainted now by Molly's betrayal. One particularly difficult moment was deciding what to do with our dog Buddy. We had adopted him together 2 years ago from a local shelter. In the end, I decided to let Molly take him. As much as it hurt to say goodbye, I knew my work schedule wasn't ideal for a dog. Molly works from home more often and could give him more attention. Saying goodbye to Buddy was almost as hard as saying goodbye to Molly. Molly finally moved out of the apartment last week. A mutual friend supervised while she packed her things to make sure she didn't take anything that wasn't hers. I changed the locks immediately after. It was hard seeing our life together packed up in boxes, but I know it's for the best. I've been staying busy with work and spending time with friends. I started volunteering at a local animal shelter on weekends, which has been a nice distraction. Working with the animals has been therapeutic in a way. Their unconditional love and simple needs are a refreshing change from the complicated mess of human relationships. I'm not ready to start dating again, but I'm slowly healing. I've started seeing a therapist to work through my trust issues and feelings of betrayal. It's helping me process everything and figure out how to move forward. Emma and I have kept in touch. She filed for divorce and is in the process of separating from Jack. It's been really tough on her, especially explaining the situation to their kids. Lily and Max don't fully understand what's happening, but they know their dad did something bad and won't be living with them anymore. Emma's been trying to shield them from the worst of it, but it's a delicate balance. Emma shared some more family history that shed light on the situation. Apparently, there had always been a rivalry between her and Molly growing up. Molly was the younger, more outgoing sister who seemed to charm everyone effortlessly. Emma often felt overshadowed, especially when it came to their parents' attention. Learning about the affair with Jack brought up all those old insecurities and resentments. As for Jack and Molly, last I heard they had both moved back in with Molly's parents. Apparently the family business has cut ties with both of them. Emma said her parents were furious about the affair and how they tried to frame me. Robert and Diane have always prided themselves on their family values and the image of their company. This scandal has been devastating for them both personally and professionally. There was one last bit of drama a couple weeks ago. Jack showed up at my office, clearly drunk. He started yelling and causing a scene, accusing me of ruining his life. He ranted about how he had lost everything: his wife, his kids, his job, his reputation. Security escorted him out and I filed a police report just to be safe. I haven't heard from him since, but I'm still a bit on edge when I'm out in public. I'm still dealing with a lot of anger and trust issues from this whole ordeal. But I'm taking it one day at a time. I'm looking at this as an opportunity for a fresh start. I'm even considering taking that job offer in another city that I had turned down last year. The idea of a completely new environment is appealing right now. Looking back, there were probably signs I missed or ignored. Molly's increased focus on her appearance, her sudden interest in new hobbies that aligned with Jack's interests, the way they always seemed to gravitate toward each other at family gatherings. But I never wanted to be the jealous, suspicious partner. I trusted Molly completely, and that trust was shattered. I've learned a lot from this experience. About myself, about relationships, about the importance of communication and paying attention to your intuition. I know I'll be more cautious in future relationships, but I'm trying not to let this experience make me bitter or closed off. I want to thank this community again for all the support and advice. It really helped me navigate this crazy situation. I probably won't post any more updates unless something major happens. I'm ready to close this chapter of my life and move forward. Wishing you all the best.